Hang in there.
Dear loving Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for Eddie, for the sponsors who have sponsored these lessons. Thank you for Christian School Owners Association. Thank you for the teachers. Pray that you send your Holy Pray that you send down your Holy Spirit to us, so it may guide us during this lesson. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, my dear. Good afternoon once again, dear learners. I welcome you to today's lesson. Rebecca, your network is unstable. I've understood. That is so bad. Sorry about that. So, can you be able to see my screen? Who is saying my screen? Yes, I'm glad. So if you can see my screen, I want someone to read for us. Today we're going to look at the corrections of the exams that we did. Narusiva, please mute your mic. Thank you. Yes, Liam.
Yes, teacher. Attempt all questions. Study the population density map of East Africa provided below and answer the questions that follow.
So we are studying, wait, we're studying this population density map. Now, let me first comment, Liam, before we continue. I'm happy people attempted the work, but they were not explaining it. Most of the work was saying describe, explain. People are simply outlining for me points. And then we are going to learn not to use the words poor. In geography, we don't mark poverty, poor climate, poor transport, poor stuff like that. We do not use. So that is what we're going to look at. We're going to correct the wrongs. So Liam was reading for us that we study the population density of the map of East Africa and answer the questions that follow. I'm sure you can see that map. We can all see that map, right? We can see that map, all of us. Now, on that map, they're saying describe. Liam, continue.
Describe conditions which have led to high population density in areas marked A.
In areas, so we need to first of all identify the area marked A. Can we see the area marked A? Can we see the areas that are marked with A? Which color are they? What is the color of the areas that are marked A? If I'm to bring this map closer to us, what is the color of the areas that are marked A? Because they are the ones that we want now. Who is giving me the answer? What is the color of the area where A is found? So please, we are few. Let's cooperate. Rebecca, Liam, Nick. We are just 7 of us. Alicia, what is the area? Which color? Yes, Liam.
It's color blue.
It's color blue. So when you look at color blue, that is the area around Lake Victoria. That is entirely the area around Lake Victoria. We have an area here, a small patch of the coastal region. So which type of population is that? Which type of population do we find in the blue area? Alicia is saying blue. Alicia, which type of population do we, is it moderate, is it dense, is it sparse? Because we have to identify that this is this type of population. Which one is it? Alicia, identify for me the type of population density this is. Is it moderate, is it dense, or is it sparse? Should I only stitch Liam? The rest of you are quiet?
Dense.
Dense, okay. So right, that areas marked A are densely populated. Which areas do you think we can mention? The areas around blue, we have Sembabule, we have Jinja, we have Mbale, we have Eldoret in Kenya, there is Kisumu in Kenya, there is Nakuru, there is Nairobi in Kenya, there is Mwanza in Tanzania and Thika. Then areas around Moshi and Arusha, they are all densely populated. So the question is requesting us to describe the conditions which have led. Please take note of the tense, which have led, meaning it is present. Can we start the description? So we are looking for the causes of high or dense population in those areas. Can we start the discussion? What are the possible answers? Causes of the high population density in those areas. Hillary, say something. Should I only discuss with Liam? Hello. Alicia, say something. BOA, there's this person called BOH. I don't know who it is. Please talk to us. Want to discuss what are the causes of the dense population in areas marked A. That is what the question needs us to mention. And please take note of the tense. Dance to the tune of the question. Which have. So when you're giving me answers, I expect you to use present tense. What has led to the dense population in Jinja, in Mwanza, in Moshi, in Arusha? People, should we end the lesson? Yes, Julie? Raise up your hand and say something. Julie? Should I only talk to Liam? Okay, I see. Yes, Hillary, my dear.
Presence of fertile soils and good climate conditions.
The presence of fertile soils
Soil
that do what?
and good climate, which
That
favor
do what?
crop production in area. Which favor
Amazing.
crop production.
Beautiful. So the presence of fertile soils that favor crop growing, which provides food, attracts a bigger population. Thank you, Hillary. Now you can lower your hand.
Hello, guys.
Next.
Hello.
So one was high at the fertile soils, favor crop growing, hence increased food production. Whenever there is food in an area in Jinja around Lake Victoria, we realize that those are fertile areas. So we expect to have a high population density. Yes, Julie? Julie, are you part of us? Liam, can I hear from you? I don't want to lose you, Liam.
Yes, teacher, I'm there.
Give me a point. What causes the dense population? We discussed this.
The good security in the area.
The great
availability. Improved security,
improved security, amazing.
Which attracts more people to come and live in that area.
Amazing. So availability. So the word is availability of improved security systems, like the police, which attracts more people to come and stay in that particular area. Thank you, Liam. Hillary, once again, yes.
Availability of industries that provide employment opportunities to people.
Amazing. So availability of well-established industries that provide employment to people who earn income and improve their standards of living. So the people come to settle in areas that are highly industrialized. Yes, Liam. I'm going to teach Hillary and Liam. The rest of you, you have decided to keep quiet. Can you participate, please? Yes, Liam. After then, Hillary. Liam.
Yes, teacher, I'm giving another point.
Yes.
Availability of good social services like electricity, medical services in the area, which attracts more people to come and live there.
Amazing. Now, Liam, take it from me. When we are marking geography, we don't use the words below. This one's good, bad, poor. Okay? We don't use those in our
Yes.
geographical points. So you would say availability of well-developed social services or improved social services. And when you talk of social services, you have explained schools, hospitals, and roads that attract people to stay in that area provided by the government. Nice.
Area.
Hey, Jocelyn, mute your mic. Yes, Hillary. Hillary, you're next.
Presence of good climate conditions which favor the settlement of people.
Hillary, I've just said we don't use good, we don't use bad, we don't use poor. Rephrase your statement. And remember, I've said, yes, you're right, presence. When you're using natural factors, we use the word presence. When you're giving human factors, we use availability. So presence of, presence of favorable. Yes, favorable climate. In form of how favorable is it? Yes, how favorable. When you talk of climate, at the back of your mind, you should think of temperature and rainfall. So how favorable is it, and what is the use of it being favorable?
Favors the settlement of people in an area.
So favorable climate in form of reliable rainfall distributed throughout there. This is an area near Lake Victoria. They receive convectional rainfall throughout the year. So it favors crop growing. So people can be able to stay in such areas. Beautiful. We mentioned fertile soils, infrastructure development, favorable climate. Those are 3 so far. Liam, you're next. Remember, I'm talking to only 2 students. The rest have refused to talk. Liam, don't hide it down there. Liam, you're next. The rest have refused to talk.
Yes, teacher. Another condition is
another availability of
employment opportunities, which of improved infrastructure and employment opportunities which attracts people. Yes, teacher.
William, you've just mentioned that point under industrialization, haven't you?
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay, availability of employment opportunities in those areas which attracts people to come and live there and get jobs.
Okay.
To bring in income.
Beautiful, but we put it still under industrialization. Why is it that?
No, teacher. Employment opportunities is the point.
And then someone mentioned industrialization because they provide employment to people. Do you now get my argument?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, okay, I guess.
Now keep thinking. Hillary, you're next. We can talk about security. I think we've talked about security. Talk about political stability. Why is this area densely populated? Because of a favorable government policy through extending social services to that area. Then the area is politically stable. There are no wars, so people can be easily attracted to stay in such an area. You can talk about the potentiality, availability of minerals, okay, in such areas. Availability of minerals. Minerals attract people to come and work in the mining sector. Which other condition can we have for the dense population? You can have high fertility rates. Talk about high fertility rates where people give birth to a lot of so many children in a single birth. Then lack of knowledge on family planning. So they simply give, you have those points. Lack of knowledge on family planning results into high birth rates. Okay. Then you can talk of early marriages in the area, looking at potential causes of a dense population. So you can talk of early marriages where women get married at an early age and give birth to many children through their reproductive age. Any other points? We've given about 8. So security, climate, fertile soils, political stability, industrialization, early birth rates, rather high birth rates, early marriages, those are 7. Infrastructure, those are 8. So if someone failed to give me only those, so that you get your 3 points. Hillary, are you still with us? We've handled that question, I think. So, Hillary, are you there? Read for me number 2. Read for me number 2.
Describe conditions which have led to low population density in area marked C.
The areas marked. So we're looking at low population densities in the area marked C. So meaning in C we have low population density. Which areas can you identify where C is found? We have C here in central Tanzania. We have C in eastern Kenya, areas of Wajir, Elwak, Turkana region, Lodwar. Then in Uganda, Hoima, Chenjojo, and Sembabli are all sparsely populated areas. So what causes the sparse population in these areas? What causes the sparse population in these areas? That's our concern now. BOH students, are you a spy? You have decided to keep quiet. Alicia, are you also a spy? Because spies can just come into the lesson and keep quiet. Should I presume I only have 2 students, the others are spies? Now, Sarah, what causes sparse population in an area? Why would an area have very few people occupying it?
Unfavorable climatic conditions.
Sorry? Alicia, I beg your pardon? Mama, Alicia, you had to get. Alicia?
Conditions.
I have not had.
Unfavorable climatic conditions.
Unfavorable climatic condition in form of what?
Drought.
Drought, beautiful. We can have drought, especially in central Tanzania. This is where we have Mayombo woodlands. We have drought here in northern Kenya. So those areas, the drought conditions can discourage people from settling in such areas. Beautiful. So they are too dry. This is a dry region. Thank you, Alicia. Another cause of a low population. Alicia, after you mute your mic, like that. Hillary, are you there? We are continuing with our normal schedule. Hillary.
Presence of infertile soil that do not favor production.
Amazing. Presence of infertile soils that limit crop growing and hence low food production. You cannot stay in an area where you're not certain of what you're going to eat. So the presence of infertile soils that limits food production, hence sparse population. Julie, are you part of us? There's Xiphon. Over who is this one? Julie, talk to me. Hilary, as you prepare your point. Hilary, talk to me now. Hilary?
Insecurity in an area which doesn't favor settlement.
Amazing. Insecurity in form of what? Insecurity in form of wars. And so wars cause also discourages people because there is massive destruction of crops, massive loss of lives. You wouldn't want to stay. You see the Afghanistans, how they ran to Uganda because it's politically stable, it has security, but Afghanistan lost its people. So insecurity can result into a low population because people are not safe. They cannot settle in areas that are not safe. Finally, I had lost you. You're back. I'm glad. We're now looking at the causes of low population density. Give me a point now that you're back.
Causes of low population density. Insecurity in an area.
That is what we have just discussed. Insecurity in form of wars.
Okay, shortage of social services. Shortage of improved social services.
So would call them. What is the opposite of improved?
Of improved. Declined.
Declined. Underdeveloped social services or facilities. Yes. Absence of well-developed facilities. Just don't use the word poor. Okay. So yes. Absence of well-developed social services like hospitals, schools, roads also limits accessibility of some areas, so they are not easily settled in. Thank you, Liam. Techno LB6, are you there? Hilary, you're next. Liam is back. Liam, you're next. Hilary has also disappeared. Liam, we suffer locally. Liam?
Yes, teacher.
So we looked at.
Yes, I'm going to give a point.
Yes, we have looked at. We've looked at insecurity. We've looked at underdeveloped social services. We have looked at infertile soils. Okay. We have looked at political instability and insecurity. It's the same. So far, we have only 3 points. Give me another one. Liam.
Teacher, poor climate in an area like floods. Yes, teacher.
Liam, you liked poverty. What did I say?
Teacher, I'm here.
Yes, but you like poverty. Didn't I refuse poor?
No, I didn't say poverty. I said presence of natural disasters.
Liam, you have just said poor climate. And I said we don't use poor in geography. Okay?
Yes. So corrected.
To what?
To presence of natural disasters like floods, which destroy people's property and lives, so they are influenced to move into other areas.
Amazing. So presence of natural calamities or disasters that destroy people's property and crops, then discourages them from settling in certain areas. For example, when you look at people in Bududa, okay, the floods in Kasese are discouraging so many lives. So you find that area before so long, it will be sparsely populated. Yes, Hilary. Liam, I hope you're preparing the next point.
Unfavorable standards of living.
Unfavorable standards of living. How? You're right, but how? What causes the unfavorable standards of living?
Natural disasters.
Hillary, it can be as a result of lack of employment. And so if an area has no economic activities to be carried out, people are not going to settle in such an area. So limited economic activities. So the point would be limited economic activities in an area will discourage people from staying there. If an area we say it has minerals, if it has industries, automatically people are going to come and get employed. But if it lacks those economic activities, automatically people will not live in such an area. Beautiful. Liam, you're next.
Yes, teacher. Presence of infertile soils.
That was the
land is very
first.
far. It was
That
the
was
first.
the first. That was the first.
Okay.
Infertile
Outbreak
cells.
of diseases.
Amazing.
Both animals and human beings, which influence people to migrate to other areas.
Good. So the outbreak of diseases, high rate of spread of disease. For example, in Miombo woodland, that was in the central part of Tanzania. People, this area is infested by tsetse flies. So you find that this area is automatically going to be avoided. So no one wants to stay in a disease infested area. So outbreak of diseases in an area can discourage people from settling there, both animal and human diseases. Hillary, you're next. Thank you, Liam.
Another point.
Another one, okay. We've lost Hillary.
Yes, presence of poor economy in those areas, as there is very
first stop. You're back with your poverty.
No. No. Presence of an unstable economy, since there is very little money in circulation in those areas due to the few people living in that area, which influences people to migrate.
So an underdeveloped economy. Do you realize that now Ugandans are leaving our country? Money no longer has value. Majority are leaving to go to areas where they feel the economy is developed. So an underdeveloped economy will discourage settlement. But then again, economy affects. Anyway, you're right. It's okay. We are now the two of us. Even Hillary has gone.
Yes, teacher. I think let's move on to the next now.
We'll move on to the next. So if you did that, you were supposed to get your 3 points, 3 marks. We are moving on to part B. Part B was telling us to explain the problems that are caused by a high population. What problems are caused by a high population? Liam, if you're a family of 12 people,
teacher.
What are the problems you're encountering? And put it on a family level.
On a family level.
High population density in the family. Because now, if it is on a country level, it is bigger. What are the problems caused by a high population? Let me give you one. Overcrowding. And I remember during that lesson, I even brought out a picture of Chikubu. Overcrowding due to the limited space. Give me another problem caused by a high population.
Yes, teacher. A high crime rate due to people's lack of employment opportunities, so they resort to crime like theft.
Yes, so dubious activities, especially high crime rates. For example, when you talk of high crime rates, talk of things like prostitution, pickpocketing, idleness, all those are the ones that result from being too many in an area. Because if it is a family setting, someone would steal money and you keep asking who stole nothing, and people are looking at you like, what are you talking about? So the high crime rate, beautiful. Another one is Hillary Back. So since it's the two of us, Alicia, you were part of us. What happened? So high crime rate, overcrowding, those are 2. 3, land fragmentation. We said land fragmentation is the division of land into smaller pieces. If you see in Kampala, people no longer have places to hold their functions. Someone buys like a piece of land that is as small as what they can put their 2-bedroom house. So we have that land fragmentation. And land fragmentation also results into overcrowdedness. Okay, Liam, you're next.
Yes, teacher. High death rates due to a big population where people do not get to access medical facilities, leading
That
to
one I'm
death.
not buying it. Even the few can die.
Yeah.
The government can fail to
Okay.
provide resources for the few. Don't you think so?
Okay. Yes, teacher. Shortage of social services
Beautiful.
in an area due to shortage of adequate social services in an area due to the big population.
Amazing. So shortage of adequate. Well said. Adequate. They are there, but they're not enough. So inadequate provision of social services because of the too much pressure put on the few available social services. I think you can see it in Uganda where Mulago Hospital is no longer enough. People are going to fall sick time and again, but the government is overwhelmed. Another one, easy spread of diseases. I'm talking about easy spread of diseases. Even when we try to do social distance, we realize it is not working out because the population is big. So there is easy spread of diseases. Another one. Liam, you're next. I've done my part.
Yes, teacher, but the death rate's point, I still want to argue.
Please don't defend it. Anyone can die, even if it is high population or low. Maybe what you would say is increased insecurity due to the crime rate, but still, it would not bring an overwhelming death rate.
Yes, teacher, but I think those points say enough. We'll go to the next now.
Liam. So we can talk about easy spread of diseases, land fragmentation. There is over exploitation of resources. So resources can get exhausted. We can have high birth rates resulting from a high population. Then we have an increased government expenditure. The government expenditure is big. Yes, maybe to add on what you have already said. Then what are the causes, problems that result from a very high, well, a low population rather? Problems resulting from a low population. Liam, 1, low tax base. 2,
shortage of labor living in an
beautiful. There is shortage of labor to work effectively in all the economic activities. Good, good, good. Because I'm next. So I've said 1 was shortage of a low tax base, shortage of labor, insecurity, underdevelopment economically because the few economic activities are not even fully engaged in. Insecurity. It is hard to plan, for a small population. There is underutilization of resources. There's underutilization of resources. Liam, you're next.
Yes, teacher. Underdevelopment of the areas, as the government does not give equal attention to the little populated areas.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no little population. Use the word sparse. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Do we go to the next point? So I needed only 4 marks from there. Outline the steps being. Here, this is where I crossed people from. The steps being, meaning it is being done to solve the problems in B above, especially in A1, the problems of high population density. What is the government doing to solve? The most important emphasis is on being. So you dance to the tune of the question. So I would suggest and say the government is sensitizing people on the use of family planning methods to reduce on the birth rates. Liam, you're next. The government is what is being done?
Yes, teacher. The government is endeavoring to extend social services to rural areas.
So the government is extending social services to rural areas. Beautiful, to encourage rural-urban migration. Hillary, welcome back. Oh my God.
Them to migrate.
Beautiful. Okay, the government is encouraging rural-urban migration by extending social services to the rural areas. Hillary, you're next. Hillary is back, Liam.
Yes, teacher.
The government is improving on the infrastructure in rural areas.
Amazing. I think some of the policies in Uganda where the government is doing that is rural electrification program. They're providing electricity to the rural areas. Okay, so that they're also occupied. They're putting schools, the seed schools are there in the rural areas. Nice. Liam?
Teacher, improve security system in rural areas to discourage people from migrating.
Let's desist from rural areas. Even here in Kampala, we need security, don't we?
Yes,
so the government is improving. Liam, you're getting off the tone of the question. The government is improving on the security in the areas that are densely populated to curb the high crime rates. Okay. Yes. Hillary, are you still part of us?
Yes.
Give us another. What else is the government doing to prevent that dense population?
It's constructing industries to provide employment opportunities to people.
Amazing. The government is establishing industries to create employment opportunities to people. The unemployed youth are becoming idle, and time and again they are threatening our government. So what is the government doing? Creating employment opportunities through constructing industries. Thank you. Liam?
Yes, teacher, the government has put in place favorable policies to enable the introduction of modern technology so that people living in areas far away from each other may easily communicate and discourage migration.
Which policies are those ones you're talking about? Can we be specific?
They're in the Constitution.
That is why you need to know the Constitution. Okay. Which policies do you think the government is putting forward? To do what you said?
Okay. Like the allowing phones to be imported into the country and computers, and allowing also social media companies to come into the country.
And how is that going to reduce our population?
Because if someone is far away, you can communicate to them. Someone may opt to just come from Barara to Kampala to talk to someone. Yes, they can talk to them over phone.
Liam, I'm not buying that one. Hillary, add us more. Before we move on.
The government is putting up strict laws on early marriages.
The government is encouraging girl child education. If you realize, Liam, 90% of our education or of our time we spend it in school, in most cases, before we reach childbearing age. We are in school 6 years of primary, 3 years of nursery, you know. We're encouraging girl child education to prevent early marriages. You keep the girls in school. That's a good policy. What else is being done? What else is being done? We move on, should we?
Yes,
We've been
let's
running.
move on.
Let's move on. Name any two districts, the problems being taken, the steps being taken to solve the high population problems. I think we've done that. In one district in Uganda, in fact, I want to see it in Uganda with a high population density. Imagine I gave you this and still could not read it off from the maps. Area in Uganda with high population density.
There's Wakiso, there's Barara, there's Gulu, there's Mpiji. Yes.
You give me districts, there is Jinja, there is Oima, there is Chenjojo. These are sparse density population, sparse, but with dense population. Talk about all areas around Lake Victoria. That is Kisoro, Kabale, all those areas in the mountainous regions, areas near Mount Elgon, Mbale, Jinja, Sembable, Then areas in Kenya that are sparsely densely populated, is it? With moderate, in Tanzania with moderate population. Moderate population on our map is the one that is labeled green. There is Mbeya, there is Iringa. If I'm to look at my map here. So we have, this is moderate population. So we have Mbeya, we have Iringa, Morongoro, Korogwe, Kigoma. This area here is Ujiji. So these are the areas that are moderately populated. Then in Kenya, where we have the low population, the Turkana region, we have the Lodwar, Wajir, Mandera.
Garissa.
There is?
Garissa district.
There is Garissa, amazing. So basically that brings us to the end of our, and that paper was out of 20. Yes, it was out of 20 times 100. People didn't perform well because they were not explaining. They were using poor, good, and bad, and low. So I had to emphasize that in geography, in UNEB, we don't look at poor, we don't mark good, we simply use words like favorable, adequate, don't use poor, good, or bad. I think time is up for us. Thank you very much. I think this today marks the end of our interaction. Hillary, do you have any vote of thanks to give, or Liam? Liam, I've seen you good at giving votes of thanks. Can you give us a vote of thanks? Yes.
Yeah, I had to prepare, and this time I haven't prepared.
It can just come from your heart. Do things from your heart need special preparation?
Yeah, I don't have. Hillary is also there.
Okay, Hillary. Hillary Wama, defend the ladies. Give us a vote of thanks. Just something small. And then a closing prayer as well.
I'd like to thank the Edify program. for educating us through this lockdown.
Beautiful. I also want to thank you in a
Thank you.
special way for being with us throughout the program. You know, people didn't show up today, have been struggling, but I thank God at least I have students who are able to hold on till the end. It's been beautiful interacting with you. I pray that God blesses every bit of the works of your hands so that you make it in life. Have a beautiful week ahead. Please don't forget to show up for the meeting at 3:30. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, Hillary, pray for us.
Our
Hillary,
Father,
who art in
Thank you
heaven.
for
Okay.
this educative lesson. Thank you for guiding us through all the time we have been on Edify, for all our teachers, the Christian Union, the IC teachers, everyone who is putting their hand to help us study. We thank them very much and may God bless you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, my dear. Have a beautiful weekend. Liam, have a beautiful weekend. Alicia,
likewise.
BOH, our spies in the class, we greet you so much. Yes, thank you very much. Have a beautiful day.